Date of separation. Date of separation is highly litigated issue. Why? Because it doesn't matter when divorce was filed. When you file a petition, you have to say the date of separation. Do you really have to say it? If you don't know it, you can say TBD. We lawyers like to avoid that because it creates a lot of uncertainty. But if you really don't know and you're improper, I've done it even as a represented party when there are so many issues, so many different date of separation ideas. What is date of separation? The date of separation is defined in Family Code section 7070, and it has two factors, objective and subjective. Objective factor is when both parties are living separate, husband and wife, wife, husband, basically separate. Separate like different places? Well, now we get into cases of appeal. Not necessarily. Do I prefer for the date of separation for them to live separately? Yes. Is it sometimes impossible because California is expensive? Yes. So, then what do we look at? We look at so many factors. One factor is not enough. There was a case when a doctor moved out and lived with his new girlfriend on a boat, but the court said because he came back, because his wife washed his clothes, they filed taxes together, they went into events together, like husband and wife, even though she knew husband had girlfriend on a boat and he lived there for over 2 years with her, date of separation was not enough for him to move out because of the factors. How were they conducting themselves? So two factors, how they're conducting themselves, and a subjective factor, this marriage is over, is communicated to the other side, and the person who communicated it acts accordingly. So it doesn't require the other side to accept it. So if someone says the marriage is over and the other side is trying to have the marriage not be over, and the person who said the marriage is over is going back, then it's reconciled. So if going back could mean they have sexual relation, they go on vacation, they hold hands together, they are having therapy not for the purposes of custody and visitation, but they have therapy for the purposes of being back together, work their issues, all of this will come in. So if you want clean-cut separation, then ideally, if you can, move out. But then there are disadvantages of moving out. If you have a child and you move out, then the status quo with the other parent is going to be probably 90%, unless you have agreed upon schedule that you will follow and it's in writing. So let's say you don't have a child, you move out, and then you act accordingly. So you file taxes separately. You don't come back to wash your clothes. You don't come back to eat dinners together in the apartment because the other side could say, look, we actually kissed and we slept. How can you prove the opposite? If you go back and you have these, so meet in public places, have email communications that are confirming that the date of separation has happened. That's a ideal case. Obviously, in our situation, when things are messy in family court sometimes, we have to look at all factors. Just filing taxes separately alone is not enough. Moving out, no longer enough. Acting like not husband and wife, sometimes also not enough. So you have to have a list, like a laundry list of things that look and feel and behave, and you behave as if you're no longer together. So that's very important. Yeah, I created this book to help you understand the divorce process without getting lost or without getting a heart attack. You can buy it on Amazon in all formats, including audio format. Can you trap yourself with the wrong date of separation? So, for example, you filed improper with a date of separation that was, let's say, 2 years before you filed. Your spouse said, no, we lived together for 2 years, so they put the date of separation on the date they responded to the divorce. But then you realized, actually, it was 3 years. I made a mistake. We separated 3 years ago, or typo or something. Can you change it? Yes. You have to file a request for order to amend your petition to file a second petition, said amended petition, with a new date. Usually the court and clerk will not allow you to just amend it and file it. Sometimes they miss and they let you, but usually that's how you do it. That's number one, to sort of, what is the disadvantage of not doing it? If you wait too long, then it looks like you knew and you didn't do it. So it's more credibility issue becomes an issue. Second, you would want to file a motion to bifurcate the issue of the date of separation. And before you do, you got to think about, how much does it cost me to go to trial on this bifurcated issue? How much am I going to pay in attorney's fees? Potentially, if this spouse is the out spouse, meaning with less money, I might have to pay for their attorney's fees between 50 to 75%. And then if my date wins, if I win on the date of separation, then $100,000 is going to be the difference between her date and my date. Then is it worth to pay $70,000 to risk the 100? So you got to do cost benefit analysis, right? So if we're talking about millions of dollars, obviously, yes, you can assess the risk. But if we're talking about, but she cheated and I have evidence, then no, that's more an emotional aspect. You got to do sort of sober mathematical analysis of cost benefit. Going to trial, not going to trial. What if I win? What if I lose? So once you have done this analysis, then you can decide. Another trap to avoid is, let's say you filed a date of separation, you corrected the date of separation, and then you reached a stipulation about child support, spousal support temporarily. In the introduction section, you said, or opposing counsel drafted it and you didn't notice it, both parties separated on this date. And then you sign the stipulation thinking the stipulation is about child support and spousal support. But by you not noticed the introduction section that says both parties separate on this date, basically you conceded to her date of separation or his date of separation, so the other side date of separation. How to avoid that? You just say petitioner's date of separation X, respondent's date of separation Y. That way, if there is a dispute later, they kind of come and say, but he or she signed under penalty of perjury that the parties separate on this date. So at that point, it was settled, right? No. Just pay attention. If you ever think that if separation is an issue, don't sign anything that says parties separated on the date you don't want. So I hope this video was helpful. Date of separation is a highly litigated case. You can read a case called Davis, D-A-V-I-S. It went up to California Supreme Court. It's fun to read if you like it. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!